What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. He's Andrew Destin. I am Noah Hiles, coming to you live here from Bradenton, Florida. Day 8 of Pirates Spring Training 2025. Andrew, a lot to get into. Let's start off with the guy we spoke with this morning, a big guy. The biggest. Oneil Cruz talked about his offseason center field work. What were your takeaways from his availability this morning?
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway is that this is a guy who's ready to be a leader of the outfield. And, we've had various conversations with other people like Tarek Brock and Tommy Pham, kind of talking about that exactly. If this is a guy who's going to be asked to be, for lack of a better phrasing, the quarterback of the outfield. And I think he's ready for that challenge. He's mentally, it seems like, in a better spot with this position change than he was last year. And I would say it's understandably so. If you're a guy who gets told in the middle of the season, hey, we're moving you from your favorite position to the outfield, that might come with a little bit of hesitancy, things like that. But it certainly seems like Oneil Cruz has absolutely run with it, the last couple of months of the season last year. And now coming here into spring training, he was motivated. He wanted to get better at the position. He did a lot of work with it in Dominican winter ball as well as back at home. So I would say that, hey, Oneil Cruz is in a really good spot with things in center field.
Yeah, and I think that brief stint last year helped with that. I at the time, I questioned, why not just wait till the offseason? But I think the Pirates, they knew Oneil Cruz for who he is. And they knew if we get him out there and if he could just get a taste of it and see, hey, this position, it ain't so bad.
Right.
And you're going to actually have a lot of potential to do well here. He would take it on full storm. And that's exactly what happened. I think he gave it a try. He tested it. He realized, hey, there is potential for me to be a special player in this spot, probably more so than shortstop.
Right.
And that allows a guy to buy in a little bit more, and that's what we're seeing here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's just all you can ask for out of a guy is that. And, now to pivot it to our second point, want to bring it up here, is that Ryan Borucki, he threw today in a live bullpen, live batting practice session. I thought he looked fantastic, and that's noteworthy. Obviously, this is a guy who's coming in now as it is on a non-roster invite. He's no longer a 40-man guy. He's going to have to work his way onto the roster. But let's not forget, in 2023, this was probably the second-best reliever in the Pirates' bullpen,
right.
The only one ahead of him being David Bednar.
Right.
Obviously, the Pirates have gone out and gotten guys. Tim Mayza, Caleb Ferguson are two names of lefties that come to mind who are on guaranteed contracts who are theoretically ahead of Borucki on the depth chart. There's no reason to believe that Borucki couldn't figure out a way to find his way back onto the 40-man and be part of this opening day group. The key with him is just health, and he looks healthy. He's been pitching without any limitations. That wasn't the case last year. I thought he looked excellent today.
Yeah, and Borucki's kind of a guy who I think is in a different camp than most non-roster invites.
Totally.
I mean, being that he was on this team for 2 straight seasons and at this time last year, he entered with a big role. I mean, it was a given that he'd be on the major league or the opening day roster. And I like what the Pirates did with this move and just the idea of, hey, let's bring him in here. And if he's healthy, we would rather have him than probably some of these younger guys who have options. Right. And we could start the season in AAA. And if he's not healthy, then, it's time to cut ties. But it's a low risk, high reward move bringing him back on as a non-roster invite, and if he can pitch like he did today, I think that there's a really good chance that he makes this ball club, Andrew.
Slider looked fantastic.
Yeah.
If he can keep that up, it only bodes well for him. But we had another pitcher who's maybe a little bit more notable in terms of the long-term projections for the Pirates, and you got a good look of him. Who are we talking about here?
Bubba Chandler, man, he looked really good. I mean, when you think about who threw today, we had everyone, really. Mitch Keller, Paul Skeens, David Bednar, Caleb Ferguson, Tim Mayza, Ryan Borucki, and then Bubba Chandler, who we're going to talk about. Saw him. I mean, he's a guy where, you watch Skeens, and it's clear. It's like, okay, well, no one's replicating this.
Right.
But Bubba looked really good. I like how his stuff plays in all areas of the strike zone. I like how he can kind of build you up. He can work you down. I mean, he's someone who isn't just coasting on athleticism, which can be a common trait for someone in his spot, someone in their early 20s. A high-ranked prospect to just say, here's my stuff, come hit it. No, he's playing like a real pitcher. He's pitching like a real pitcher, I should say. And that's something that you would like to see from someone who's going to be a big piece of this puzzle moving forward. Andrew, it's the age-old question. We get it every mailbag. We get it in pretty much every mention, comment section, whatever, when his name's brought up. Does this guy have any chance to make the opening day roster? I mean, when you saw it, you didn't get to see as much as I did, but when you see the flashes, it's like other writers were watching it with me, and I forget what pitch he threw, but it was against Derek Hall, and he threw it, and we're like, okay, well, if he can do that, then maybe he does have a shot. He's nasty, man.
The stuff is tremendous. There's no disputing that. In terms of guys, pure stuff throughout the organization, I don't know that there's many guys, frankly, that are better than him. I mean, obviously, Paul Skeens comes to mind. Jared Jones right now, just based off the 2 electric pitches that he has. But in terms of pure stuff, he's right up there. I mean, Kyle Nicholas may be another name that comes to mind, but the stuff is not what's in question. It's more just the body of work.
Right.
He made, less than 10 starts in AAA last year. So this guy was a two-way guy only 2 years ago, or I guess now 3 years ago, back in 2022, a full-time pitcher for the first time in 23. Don't get me wrong. It's been a rapid ascent, and understandably and rightfully so, but I personally don't see it. However, that's why they play the spring training games. That's why they play the games. Who knows? Maybe in the next 4 weeks, he can really bolster his case.
One thing we should also talk about before we wrap this up, had our first injury update today.
Right.
Spencer Horowitz, 2 weeks in, it would be what?
2 weeks.
2 weeks into, 2 weeks post-op. First big step forward in getting back to the field. Stitches have been removed, and we saw him getting some work today at first base. Not throwing, but fielding grounders, and it's good news always when you have a guy that, close removed to his operation to be out on the field. He's allowed to take left-handed only swings and do conditioning as well. Good news on that front. Just other news on Dari Murrieta, Johan Oviedo. Who else am I forgetting here?
Just a couple of guys.
Oh, Hunter Stratton, and then the new news. You can drop that.
I was gonna say with Yeri Rodriguez as well as off the top of my head, Sean Sullivan.
Two
of them dealing with
go.
some right elbow discomfort. So both of those guys, Sullivan seems like he's further along than Rodriguez in terms of coming back from the right elbow discomfort. But both those guys not believed to be serious, but that's what's holding them out of camp right now.
He's Andrew Destin. I'm Noah Hiles. You can check out our work at post-gazette.com. Hit that subscribe button to our YouTube channel if you haven't already at PG Pirates. We'll have you covered for all of spring training 2025.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.